Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this video will be kind of a bit personal. We are talking about my ancestors. Yes, my ancestors in this video. I want to talk about my great-great-grandfather, Leon Antasoda. So this guy, my great-great-grandfather, as my grandmother said, she fought for the United States. He was a Filipino, and in World War II he fought for the United States. In World War II he fought against Japan, obviously, and we were under the control of the United States during that time. The only problem was, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and after the war, Japan obviously took over the Philippines, and we were under the rule of Japan until the Axis powers fell. Hitler killed himself, Benito Mussolini was overthrown, and Japan was collapsing because the Axis powers just disappeared. So yeah, and he died in 1942. And you know what else happened in 1942? The Bataan Death March. From what I know, my dad told me that he was part of this death march. He was a Filipino and American. The death march included American and Filipino prisoners of war. And considering that I have, well, I guess it's a family member. I have a family member that's part of this event in history. It's really surreal for me. It's really strange, to be honest, that I have my great-great-grandfather part of the Bataan Death March, which I once learnt at school. Like, the Japanese did these horrible things to us Filipinos and Americans, prisoners of war. So if I'm gonna read off a small transcript here, it says the Bataan Death March was the forcible transfer by the Imperial Japanese Army of around 72,000 to 78,000 American and Filipino prisoners of war from the municipalities of Bagak and Mariveles on the Bataan Peninsula to Camp O'Donnell via San Fernando. So I want to give you a visualization. I want to give you a map. Why am I in Osaka? Right. Oh, why is this in full volume? Okay, so, oh wow, I can really see that. Oh, can't see that too. Wow, this quite suck. Right. So, if you know your Philippine map, Bataan is over here, and San Fernando is over here. So this is Pampanga, this is Bataan. They are two different, cities or provinces, and they're very far apart from each other. And considering that San Fernando is had American military bases, especially Clark. Clark, by the name suggests, Clark literally sounds American already. And I am looking into this because I am very curious about the surname of my great-great-grandfather. So I've researched with ChatGPT and Google, and I've had some websites opened here regarding the name Antasoda. Now, ChatGPT gave me some possibilities on how or why Antasoda came to be, and also I am very curious about my ancestors, or my great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, because when I was snooping through my grandmother's house, on top of their aircon there was a small pink container which contained coins and a banknote. And obviously I asked for it. And that was back in 2021. That was years ago, alright? And to this day, I will never forget that time that I discovered, oh, look, it's treasure. So I discovered Saudi coins, I discovered a Qatari coin, and I discovered a Saudi banknote. And these aren't a surprise to me because my grandfather, he was an overseas Filipino worker back in the 2000s, I think, 2000s or the 70s. up until the 2010s when I was born. He stopped going. Stopped going overseas. I don't know. I don't really know actually about his overseas work or overseas travels. So yeah, but there's this one coin in particular that caught my attention, and it's still in my collection. It's a 1 cent coin from Hong Kong. It bears the portrait of Queen Victoria. Yes, Queen Victoria, and it was from 1901, the year she died. Queen Victoria was the queen of the British Empire, and from I don't know, God knows when, until 1901. And then that got me thinking, how did this coin from the British Empire that bears the face of Queen Victoria end up in my grandmother's home on top of an aircon in a pink container? How did that happen? I did not even think that it could be my ancestors, or it could be my great-great-grandparents or my great-grandparents. I just went like, oh cool, an old coin. So I just kept it. I held on to it till now. It's still in my collection. I did not throw it away. I also got a bunch of Hong Kong coins with Queen Elizabeth's face on it, because these are quite recent, because Hong Kong was only like transferred to China back in 1997. So it was quite a recent event. I still cannot believe that the handover of Hong Kong from the British Empire to China was still very recent. It was in 1997 and it's 2025. So like in 2 years it would be like its 20-year anniversary or something. Or its 25th year anniversary. Hold up. I'm gonna do some maths over here. So like 1997 minus 2077. It would be its 30th year. So I guess its 20th year was back in 2017. So yeah, really crazy. But again, back to my great-great-grandfather, I am still curious about his surname. So, I asked ChatGPT. It is said that my great-great-grandfather was a Filipino soldier who fought for the US during World War II. And my grandma said that his surname was Antasoda, because he had, or his family had, like Japanese descent or something. And ChatGPT said, that's really fascinating history. If your great-great-grandfather fought in World War II under the US, that would make sense. Many Filipinos served either in the Philippine Scouts or USA FFE, United States Armed Forces in the Far East, which I believe is defunct now, or local guerrilla units supporting the Americans. After the war, veterans and their families sometimes kept coins, notes, or even foreign items they encountered, which might explain how some of those Commonwealth coins stayed in your family. By the way, I forgot to mention, there was another yellow container on my grandma's drawer, on my grandma's plastic drawer. It was full of American era coins. It was, I think the one I have right now is from 1945. But it was full of American era coins, and it said Commonwealth of the Philippines, well no, United States of America in the back. Then it says 5 centavos on the front, and Filipinas. Filipinas. For some reason they called us with our Spanish name. But yeah, I believe that's really cool. I own a piece of history, and that Queen Victoria coin is at least 124 years old. Yeah. Britannia, rule the waves. Whatever. So, as for the surname Antasoda, it does sound unusual for a Filipino name. But mind you, when I searched about the surname here in Google, forebears this, I think, ancestor finding website, it says approximately 33 people bear this surname, most prevalent in the Philippines, in our country. Highest density, also in our country. And the world map shows here, oh, I zoomed in this. The world map shows here that 32 incidents, 32 incidents are within this country, and there's one incident in the United States. So that one incidence of this surname being overseas. And again, I guess this surname isn't really unique to us, but it's just so weird because this surname doesn't have like a direct origin. I want to know the origin because I want to know my origin, you know. Could be mixed, you know. Could put some flags in my bio like, hey, I'm Chinese, Japanese, French, Spanish, Filipino, English. No, I'm not gonna do that. It's just clout chasing. I am here because I want to find out on how did this come, like how did this came to be, how is that? I just want to know the answer for things, which is why I am investigating this with you. I don't want to be talking to myself here like, oh, is this, oh my gosh, I want someone to give their thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. So if you have any thoughts about this, or if you have any knowledge about this, please tell me. How, I mean, not how, but how, okay, you know what, how did this name originate, or where did it even originate, or does it even mean, where did it even come from? Is it from Japan, so from somewhere? And now I also saw another variation for this surname. So the variation, the surname is spelt in my great-great-grandfather's surname, Antasoda, is spelt as Antasoda. But there's another variation of this surname, and it is spelt as Antasuda. So it means that there are more people that have the same surname as this, and it's just spelled quite differently. But it still probably means the same thing. So I am now in My Heritage, which is a website. By the way, they were like sponsoring, they were partners with Eurovision like back in 2019. Eurovision in Tel Aviv. We don't talk about that, okay? Immigration and travel records 4. Birth, marriage and death records 58. Alright, so there's a whole like synopsis type thing here. So like, origin and meaning of the Antasuda or Antasoda last name. The surname Antasoda has its roots in Southeast Asia. Yes, Southeast Asia, particularly within the cultural and linguistic context. This is unexpected, but it says of Thailand. When I told you earlier that it's most prevalent in this country, I did not expect that its roots has linguistic context in Thailand, right? And surrounding regions. Historically, surnames in this area often reflect geographical features, occupations, or personal traits. The name Antasoda may derive from local dialects with potential meanings linked to nature or specific attributes valued in the community, such as resilience or wisdom. Over time, as families settled in various regions, the surname likely evolved, adapting to local languages and customs while maintaining its core validity. Culturally, variations of the name Antasuda, which is spelled here Antasuda, may exist in different regions, particularly as Thai culture interacts with neighboring countries. So, I have a revelation. It's not really a revelation, it just made me more confused. I thought it's most prevalent in here. I thought it had a Japanese origin. I thought it was misspelled and it was a one-off surname like ChatGPT said, which we will read later, by the way. Now, before I continue to read this, I wanna like give you guys on another prompt. Not really a prompt, but another question I asked ChatGPT. So, what could Antasoda mean? ChatGPT said, the surname Antasoda is really unusual. It doesn't appear in any common Filipino surname lists, nor in standard Japanese family names. You know, Japanese family names, it's not like this, right? I literally... Okay. I don't even know. But we can try to break it down. Possible origins or meanings. Japanese sounding roots. Many Japanese surnames end with da, rice field or rice field, with like Takeda, Harada, Yoshida. Anta could come something like Anda, A-N-D-A, which means peaceful rice field in Japanese, or Anta, a dialectal word in Japanese meaning you. Soda could be linked to soda. Soda. It's not soda, it's soda. Soda, the O with that little thing on top, the dash on top. I believe it's also used in Maori, which are actual Japanese surnames. So Anta Soda may have been a blending or misheard version of two Japanese words or names. So it could be Anda Soda. Could be rice. It could be you soda or something. Filipino Hispanic adaptation. During Spanish rule, many foreign surnames were adapted into Filipino-sounding ones. If your ancestor's Japanese surname was hard to spell or pronounce, it may have been altered into something like Antasoda for record keeping. For example, Japanese Ando, the O again with the long line, recorded as Ando or Andoi. Chinese Lim, kept as is, etc. Unique family name. There's also a chance, like I said earlier, that it is a one-off surname that developed within your family and doesn't exist widely elsewhere. That sometimes happened when colonial clerks spelled names phonetically. And ChatGPT gave me some steps to confirm this, but I'm obviously not doing this, which is why I'm making this video, so you guys could help me. And I sent ChatGPT a photo or a screenshot of Forebear's website saying that 33 people bear the surname in this country. And ChatGPT was like, oh wow, that's super rare! If only 33 people in the world and all in the Philippines bear the surname Antasoda, that makes it ultra unique. That makes it an ultra unique family name. That pretty much confirms what you suspected earlier. Okay. Now I want to continue reading this. Where am I? Spelling and pronunciation. Okay, I'm reading again from the MyHeritage website where it says that it could be from, Thai origins. Spelling and pronunciation can differ based on local dialects and linguistic influences, leading to alternative forms that may carry similar meanings or connotations. The spread of the surname has been influenced by migration patterns, trade routes, and the movement of people across borders, contributing to its presence in diverse communities. Prominent figures associated with the surname Antasoda may include local leaders, scholars, or artists who have made significant contributions to their communities, yada 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 yada. I'm not gonna read all that. So yeah, I am extremely confused at this point on how my great-great-grandfather has this surname. See, my current surname is a Cabrera. I am a Cabrera. I could be related to any Cabreras out there, maybe a Cabrera from Ecuador, a Cabrera from Mexico, a Cabrera from maybe just all of Latin America. But what I am most curious about is the surname Antasoda. Like ChatGPT mentioned earlier, it could have come from, Japanese, we call this Japanese origins. And I feel like this has something to do with hiding from colonialists. I mean, hiding from the Spanish or hiding from the Japanese in particular. I feel like what my grandma said, him having Japanese origins. Maybe the surname has something to do with hiding from the Japanese, or hiding from the Spanish, or the Spaniards when they came to our country. It could be that they changed their last name so that to protect themselves, I don't even know in what way would they protect themselves by changing their last names or their surnames. But this is my theory. That it could be to protect themselves, or that maybe my grandfather changed his name to this one so that it sounds more Japanese, and because the Japanese, came to our country, and we were under the rule of the Japanese, maybe he changed it to a Japanese sounding name so he wouldn't be suspected for a Filipino American soldier fighting against them. That's my theory. And it could be that the words are random, or it could be that he does know some Japanese, and he combined these specific words to confuse the Japanese forces. So, like I said, like ChatGPT said, it could be anta, a dialectal word in Japanese meaning you, or anda, which means peaceful rice field, and the soda part could be from soda, which are actual Japanese surnames. So, like ChatGPT suggested, it could be a blending or misheard. But again, my theory at this point, I just thought about this theory now. My theory is that he made this as his surname to hide from the Japanese, because he was fighting against them. He was part of the US military when the Japanese took over the country. That's my theory. I have a theory. Yeah, that was quite a handful. That was very, I guess, personal in a way. And again, it's still surreal for me that someone in my family would be part of such a tragic event that happened in Filipino soil, in our soil, in my country's soil, the Bataan Death March. The record, I looked in my heritage, I typed in his name, Leon Antasoda. There were two records, Leon L. Antasoda and Leon Antasoda. So I feel like it's the same, because the death both says 1942, and like, that could be him. There wasn't much information about him. And how did I know this? Well, my family and I visited the Filipino American cemetery in BGC like 6 years ago, back in 2019. And that surname just stuck to me for some reason, Antasoda. And I've been curious about that. And also, the plaque says that he was MIA, which means missing in action. I also checked. I couldn't remember the actual plaque actually, so I had to check the actual American Filipino. I forgot the name of the cemetery, but I had to check the actual website of the cemetery, and it did say that he was missing in action, so he probably did die during the death march. So yeah. Very strange family lore, but honestly, I believe this is still quite cool, but yet it's quite tragic and dark, because I don't know, he was in the darkest time of our country. We were under Japanese rule, war was raging, Hitler was reigning. But then, I guess his sacrifices paid off, because eventually Hitler knew he was losing, so he went to his bunker, shot himself in the head, and then the people in fascist Italy were just so fed up with Mussolini. The people literally killed Mussolini. There was a photo of him on the street, dead, after a revolution happened. and I forgot what happened in Japan on why like Hirohito fell or something. But yeah, it was a really dark moment of history, and I really like learning stuff about these. I really like, excuse me, learning about these. It's nice to know that my family has quite some deep history. So yeah, for my family members watching this, I don't know, I'm speechless. So what do I even say? So if you're Cabrera, if you're watching this, we apparently have an answered family lore. We don't know where the surname came from. Again, my theory is that it could be that he was hiding from the Japanese. That's my theory. Anyways, that's the video for now, guys. If you have any thoughts about this, or if you have any sources or stuff about this surname, please comment it down below. So yeah, goodbye, guys.